As we leave the haunted forest here, yeah, this is all we need to do for this place. Nothing more right now. We'll come up this way. Now we can get ourselves across to the Manna Bridge, or Main Bridge, because now we need to get our first awakening. That's right, we get to awaken an ally for the first time, and Menos is the one to do it. There are going to be more Mannas we find throughout the game, but until then, Bina is going to be at level 1 for now until we actually get her to level up, though. Let's talk to Bibi. Oh, what a fine young man you are! What can I do for you, darling? Was it awake an ally? You know what you're asking me, my little peachy cobbler? First, I can only proceed with the awakening if you bring me enough mana. Mana is the life energy, extremely rare stuff. And even then, even though I'm sending on one and easily could give it to you, I'm not doing it. They'll die, don't you know? I have, aka 1 mana. Oh, wonderful. You dug up some mana? Let's start off with that beefy one. You'll make an ideal test subject. So you can't basically, jeopardize yourself by increasing Fina's power. You have to increase him. He gets affected first. Upgrading powers! Menos powers reach level 2. You can focus longer to unleash a more powerful attack. Great. That's awesome. We can't buy a potion since we don't have the space to do so, since we already have a green and a red one. So, in the interest of consistency, it's time to go back to the main bridge, even though we clearly can walk across it, but the map says we need to go into the bridge to do it. So now, with this power in hand, and so now when we just have to focus longer for Menos' attack to increase. So now we can go up to level 2 now. And now Menos can break that rock. See, that wasn't so hard. These guys don't react to it at all either. They're still scripted to say if the rock is still there. Kinda odd. Odd programming. We come around here. There's some mushrooms we can take care of. Nothing over here, though. But the area is just as big as it was in 2D. So, bear that in mind. Go over here, get some slimes. Slimes get us some money, some experience. Definitely that experience. Again, weaker enemies will just drop less experience as you go along. So you have to go kill harder enemies just to level up faster. There's just another enemy here we can take care of. More gold, more everything. That's it for us. Let's get out of here. We can now finally cross that bridge. What the? I say, look at that. What happened? What happened here? Where's my village? My parents? My friends? Everything's gone. Indeed, everything is gone. Goodness me, what happened? I had my suspicions, but now I'm sure of it. This is an our time period. You have to find out what happened. Let's try Genova. Somebody there should be able to tell us. Yeah, we could. We can go in the clearing here that we got that lucky reward from. And I guess the clearing, since we basically took care of that guy's treasure hunt so badly, that he basically jumped ship. Yeah, the clearing gets smaller in the 3D world. Odd. That's very odd to say, because we used to walk around here and go back there and get our reward, but since we were so lucky the first time, he just jumped up and left. Before we go into Genova, though, let's see about this. This looks ominous. What's this place? The Pyramid of the Prophet. The Great Destroyer shall punish you all! Huh? Nee. What did I do to deserve such imbeciles? Well, will no one open this door for me? You say for someone vulnerable, prophet. How dare you make me languish here? Ah, finally. One of these days, I'll have to change that mechanism. But it's the surest way to protect my very precious Stone of Time. Stone of Time? That looks like sort of a symbol that symbols something of the Sheikah. But I highly doubt that's the true case here. Yeah, now we have this pyramid here for some reason this time period. Oh, don't even try to scale the pyramid. It's so slippery, even the famed ninja squirrels never made it to the top. To get inside, you'll need to reach it by air. But without wings, it cannot be done. When humans fly, as they say. When humans fly, you say? I think we can fly at some time or another. Entry to the Great Pyramid is restricted. Only the Prophet and the eldest disciples may go in. And there's no point in searching for the key. The door only opens from the inside. Which can be problematic at times, actually. Just the other day, the Prophet was locked out of it because of a sudden draft. It took a whole week to force the door open, and then it had to be replaced. The Prophet proclaimed drafts to be a sign of the world's annihilation. So the Prophet hated the draft, basically destroying his door, and so he thinks that wind is also part of this whole great prophecy, I guess. You see this beautiful pyramid? We're the ones who built it. It required lots of hard work. But when water converts everything, we'll be able to take shelter here. Well, when water covers everything, we'll be able to take shelter in there. Still, a slight detail has been nagging. So, do you think it will float? Knowing how heavy this thing is, and now it's made out of metal, and knowing that it's probably conquered to the ground, I'm pretty sure it won't fly or float. I came here to become a disciple, but novice training is really difficult. You have to master quite a few skills. Not sure I'll make it. Not make it, you say? What do you got to say, buddy? The number 5 has always intrigued me. I mean, really, it's a special number, don't you think? It pops up everywhere. The story of the 5 little pigs, the tale of the 5 musketeers, and of course the 5 keys to be collected by the Great Destroyer before annihilating the world. As strange as strange can be. Why 5? I think you're misreading that wrong, good sir. We're actually walking into this crater that's been left here. Actually, it's kind of funny. And scary in the same regard. I've always dreamed of touching the Stone of Time. But only the Prophet has this honor. Our greatest treasure kept safely atop the pyramid. Do you think that by touching, one can communicate with the Great Destroyer? The Great Destroyer, did he actually make this crater? That's a thing to consider. What do you guys got here? Do you want to take the novice test? Sure. Fine. Listen carefully to my question and choose the correct answer. The Great Disaster was the first omen of the world's annihilation. What will be the second be? Oh, I don't know this. Well, I've heard flood. I've heard people covering the world, so maybe flood? Yes, exactly. That's why we built the pyramid. That way, we'll be able to survive when water covers the world. But novice training isn't over yet. Speak to the other professors who continue the test. Professors? What professors? You want to take the novice test? Sure. Fine. Listen carefully to my question and choose the correct answer. Before destroying the world, the Great Destroyer must do something. What is it? Go collect the 5 keys? Yes, that's it. As the number 5 comes up. There's sure a hidden meaning to the keys, but the Prophet is unequivocal when it comes to the number 5. Your novice training isn't done yet? Speak to the other professors and continue the test. You must be the next professor, aren't you? I'll take the novice test, why not? Fine. Listen carefully to my question and choose the correct answer. The great eye symbolizes the Great Destroyer. It is etched into our almost precious treasure. What is this treasure? The Triforce? Wow! We have the Triforce, a 1-up mushroom, Excalibur, so we have Zelda, Mario, and Final Fantasy of all things being referenced, but I think it's the Stone of Time. Well done! Indeed, the Stone of Time is kept at the very top of the pyramid. The Prophet discovered it near the smudge shortly after the Great Disaster. Congratulations, you will pass the novice test. But that's only the first step. To become a disciple, you'll need to go to the Windy Valley and then climb Mount Alpha. Atop Mount Alpha, you'll have to spend an entire day middling before our symbol, the Great Eye. Only then you'll be able to be ready to become a disciple. So I believe we've taken things a little out of context. Normally you're not supposed to know those answers, but if you do know the answers, I believe now you can actually, you're told exactly what to do next, and that is to climb the mountain. Because I believe the mountain is where we'll basically find our way forward, as it were. But I believe that technically unlocks our way forward to go to the mountain, which is down south. But we can stop at Genova to figure out what that is. But let me see about this real quick. Yeah, we can come down here now and go into this region here, which is now Windy Valley. But let's go humor us a bit here by going to Genova. Technically, you're supposed to come here first before going to the pyramid, though, to be perfectly honest with you. You're now entering the great trade capital of Genova. Be sure not to make any trouble, and we will ensure your safety. I'm not gonna make any trouble. Traders and disciples. All day long, I see our traders and disciples. It's crazy. Does anyone really become a trader or a disciple? I guess if the world ends and there's only two professions, you might as well. What do you gotta say, ma'am? It's behind the fence, behind the gate here. You just got to Genova, right? It's obvious from your tan you've spent too much time outdoors. In Genova, my delicate skin is protected from the sun's harmful rays by the vapors of the smug. Smug? Let me through! I'm training! I need to build up my strength if I want to climb Mount Alpha. That's the only way to become a disciple! I guess disciples are the way forward for everything else entirely. Are you in the market for a smug-filled furnace? Step right up! Ours are the very best out there! Guaranteed to have minimal smug emissions. And at the unbeatable price, too! Buy a smug furnace and you'll save you on wood. It's very good for the forest, did you know that? And if you purchase one right now, you'll pay 0.1 less tax. What'd you say? Man, that inflation's kicking badly on us, aren't it? Sure, I can buy one. Wonderful. But you have no home. You have to buy a one before having a smug furnace installed. Find another trader for that. And I don't do scam, real estate. We need to find a home, it seems. What's in here? This must be the trader's outfit. Let's see. Oh, we got piranha plant. Right there. And, that's a Zelda reference. For goodness sake, Marin! I've told you 1,000 times not to wrinkle the linens! You poor girl, you have absolutely no sense of perfection. The Great Destroyer demands perfection. And I serve the prophet who presents the Great Destroyer. Yeah, we have a farm girl Malin here from, Lon Lon Ranch, oddly enough here. Her design is vaguely very similar. The Mrs. is so demanding, I'm so more frightened of her than of the Great Destroyer. I'm not even sure he even actually exists. The Mrs., on the other hand, I couldn't be more sure. I've gone and blasphemy without meaning to. Please don't turn me into the Great Disciples. I beg you. Oh man, if you try to... No? There's no free speech? Ugh. I'd hate to live in the world of that. Well, hello there, citizen. What can I do for you? Who are you again? Oh, but I'm just a humble trader. Long line of traders. My grandfather was already a professional merchant at the time of the Empire. He was really a hero, helping those who needed passage in Noah during the war. A person that we met and helped produce his career. He did many favors and also earned money for his kept by working hard. Thus was born the Fogwell dynasty. Quite a beautiful story, ain't it? Mr. Mudwell, what can I do for you? What about the Great Disaster? What happened there? The Great Disaster happened 60 years ago, on the 50th anniversary of the Empire's victory over the demons. No one knows exactly what happened, except that a huge explosion wiped out the southern part of the continent. Nova was not really spared, and the turmoil that followed ultimately led to the Empire's demise. Thankfully, the traders were there to restore order. What can I do for you? How about with the traders? What you guys did, you? Well, after the Great Disaster, my father and his merchant friends came to the Empire's rescue. They formed the council that would take actions necessary to Genova's survival. Someone needed to act quickly, and with all that chaos, The militia was created to replace the army. The former imperial tax system was abolished to make way for a fairer system. They gave people their freedom back. Since then, everyone is free to do trade and become wealthier. Oh, naturally, traders' sons had all become traders themselves, but at least everyone has a fair chance. What can I do for you now? What about the smug? The explosion of the Great Disaster left behind a gaping hole filled with this strange substance. As no one rightly knew what the stuff was, people called it smug. Our scientists quickly found that the smug could be used as an energy source. The traders declared a monopoly on buying and selling of smug and built the smug line to transport it to Genova. Since then, everything here has been fueled with smug. Even time, people use some. More money lines, more countless pockets. Isn't technologically grand? And we gotta see, help us out? If you're in need of a favor, feel free to come and see me. I'd be thrilled to do what I can. By any means, I'm at my disposal, in exchange for a service like a value, of course. I don't do pro bono. Pro bono, as if there were even a thing. What can I do for you? Well, nothing at all right now, but this guy is basically the grandson of the person that helped us back during the war of the past. The Great Disaster! My village swallowed up by the smug. And look what's become of Genova, I say. Is that really our future? Technically, if we didn't go into the past or anything, would be how we would basically have been killed. You did not mention names. They must be hiding somewhere. I cannot believe they are all vanished into thin air. That's not the #1 problem here. My village, my parents, everything, and everyone's gone. I say we have to stop this great disaster from happening. I understand your anguish, Miss Fina. But if it is indeed possible to change the course of events, we should start by saving my people. That can't be changed, Menos. The demon's defeat is part of history. I learned about it in school. It's in the past. But what's happened here, that hasn't happened yet. Perhaps in your past, Miss Fina. But to me, your present is my future. What might happen to the Empire is none of my concern. I want my people to live, not to be wiped out by our enemy. Well, if the Empire doesn't defeat the demons, that could change everything. I mean, maybe I wouldn't even exist. It's just too risky. And what are the people who live here now? Maybe they too will disappear if we alter the past. Does that not bother you at all? But who knows exactly what can or cannot be changed? It may be well that all this already exists. Perhaps we have already come here. We've already all done all this. So no matter what we do, nothing can be changed. You know what, Menos? I don't really know. But I'm at least going to try. That's all we can do. How about you, I say? Do you think we can change time? Well, if we get that thing called the Stone of Time, I think we can. You see, Menos, I say he's an optimist just like me. And if we can, what do you think we should change? If we can, both. Thank you, Super Mario. I knew that I could count on you. Are you sure, I say? It's pretty risky. Could you throw off the world's balance? I think the world's already enough chaos as it is. But we would still need to find a way to turn back time. I do not know what is possible or even reasonable to hope for. For anything else, we must find a megalith. On that much, I completely agree, Menos. Let's go to the library and dig up some info. I have a good feeling we'll find out something there where there's a megalith somewhere. You hear that, I say? Let's get going. Indeed. But I think I'm thinking we're gonna call it there as a session. It's a little bit like a few minutes before my session's over, but I think we'll call it there. As for next time, folks, for the YouTube episode, next time we'll continue here in the 3D version of Genova, find this library of sorts, and see what we need to do. But until then, folks, I'll see you around here for another round of the Evoland 2 Revisit. See you guys then. Ta for now. Doo-doo-doo.